Comrades and friends, it was always a forlorn hope on my part that I shall be determined enough not to cry at Godfrey's funeral. That is not to be. There's not much I can say in the short time that's been allotted to me today, but may I tell you that on the 12th of May, Saturday the 12th of May, 6 in the evening, there will be a memorial meeting for Comrade Godfrey, where not only the members of the CPGB-ML, but also other comrades, fraternal organizations will be able to pay their tribute to him. I hope you will join us. Marx was very fond of repeating after Epicurus, death is not a misfortune for the one that dies, but for the one that lives. He was never frightened of his own death, but he worried what will happen to the movement and what will happen to other people who have to carry on. So Godfrey has left this problem with us. He lies peacefully. He couldn't be bothered about what we are saying. But the basic thing is, it's a problem for us, and we must deal with it as best as we possibly can. The CPGB-ML and the British working class movement is poorer for the loss of this indefatigable protagonist of the cause of the emancipation of the proletariat and the liberation of entire humanity. Today we are here not only to mourn the death of and lay to rest forever Godfrey Cremer, but we are also here to celebrate the life of a remarkable communist, an ardent anti-imperialist, a passionate anti-racist, and a thoroughgoing internationalist. And it's a measure of his stature and his commitment to the fight against imperialism and against racism that so many messages have come to us from all across the world, Asia, Africa, Europe, America, Latin America, that there are comrades here, and there is a comrade here from the Cuban embassy, there have been messages from the DPRK embassy, and there are people from Turkey, there are Afro-Caribbean comrades, there are black comrades, there are Asian comrades, and there are so many Indian comrades that he worked with, and it's a measure of his greatness. And I thank you all for coming and being here. He was never shy, he was never afraid of saying what might at the time not have been very fashionable. Indeed, downright unfashionable, downright rude, spoiling people's dinner parties by saying things like that. His defense of the earth-shaking significance of the great socialist October Revolution, the gains of socialist construction in the Soviet Union under the leadership of Lenin and Stalin, and the Bolshevik Party, was boundless. He would have been pleased to know that at his funeral, one of the messages that we have received is from Jacob Jugashvili, the grandson of that great legendary comrade Joseph Stalin. It came yesterday from Georgia, and he sent his condolences. In his unwavering commitment in the service of the working class movement, no job was beneath him, as has been pointed out by Iris and Catherine. He was a dedicated organizer, possessed of great ideological and technical competence, and a keen eye for detail. And may I say this, that it is most unlikely that the newspaper of the Indian Workers' Association first, and then subsequently anti-imperialist magazine Lalkar, or our party's magazine Proletarian, would have got off the ground without Godfrey's help. Although he had many opponents, I make bold to say that Godfrey did not have a single enemy. People who actually opposed him had nothing but admiration for him, not something that I or many of you can claim. He was a great, warm-hearted comrade, a loyal friend, a loving husband, father and grandfather. His dedication, his cheerful disposition, and wit, as has been pointed out by his cousin. He truly was witty. If the Continentals are anything, they are witty, and if the English are anything, they are humorous. But Godfrey was truly witty, will be missed, not only by comrades of the CPGB-ML, but others. Nikolai Ostarovsky, the great Soviet writer, had once this to say: man's dearest possession is life. It's given to him but once, and he must live so as to feel no torturing regrets for wasted years, never know the burning shame of a mean and petty past. So live that dying he might say, all my life, all my strength were given to the finest cause in the world, the fight for the liberation of mankind. I think Godfrey, lying there, can be well satisfied that he had nothing mean and petty in his past to torture him, that he had a meaningful life, and he spent all his living time, all his waking time in the service of mankind. The movement of the Proletarian and the work of the CPGB-ML will continue, but we've lost a selfless and tireless foot soldier to whom I and my party comrades always turn whenever anything needed to be done urgently, like yesterday. We are not going to lose heart, if for no other reason, as Ella has pointed out in her wonderful poem, that Godfrey Cremer will not approve of this kind of behavior. Remembering the words of Wilhelm Liebknecht on the death of Karl Marx, when he referred to Karl Marx as a deceased living friend. Godfrey is dead, but Godfrey is a living friend. Godfrey will never die. He certainly will not die for me. Deceased living friend, we shall honor you by working as hard as you did, with the same persistence, perseverance, and steadfastness as you displayed in your service to the movement of the working class and the oppressed people of the world for over 4 decades. All those who had the occasion to know him, worked with him, had their lives enriched by him. He shall be sorely missed. With these words, comrades and friends, I say farewell to Comrade Godfrey, my friend, my comrade, my brother, and a second father to my children, and a second grandfather to my grandchildren.
Godfrey Cremer, for the love he gave, for the friendships he sustained, for the wisdom and kindness he shared, for his contribution to your world. May his life be an example to you, to cherish, that others may say of you, as you now say about Godfrey, thank you, my life has been better for knowing you. Always a leader, always at the front, always a humble servant of the people, he will always be missed. With tenderness, reverence and love, we say farewell to Godfrey Andries Cremer.